Well, hello, you guys. Welcome to this recap of the week. I know I'm late. I know I'm like super late to doing this actually. So I usually try to get on here like at least an hour or two before than I am right now. So I've just been a busy morning, lots going on, and I still do debate whether I do this or not. So here I am again. Because there's a lot to talk about. I've been accused of many things this week. I've gotten some really vile messages, really dark, evil messages. I'm a pedo protector. Lots of that stuff going on. Lots of people thinking that I'm defending the Epstein Files and all the junk that's come out in them. And I'm not, like, at all. I do not support anyone that has ever harmed a child. I'm vehemently against all that stuff. We're going to get into some of the stuff that was found in the Epstein Files. We're not going to, have I gone through all 3 million pages? No, I haven't. But I will address some of the stuff that Trump is mentioned in, because there's a demand for it. So let's do it. Also, we'll address, what else do I have on here? The SAVE Act, lots of drama with there. Gosh, there's various things. Let me see what I have listed on here. Lots of things to talk about. Nancy Guthrie still missing. We've got to pray for her. That story is crazy. What else? Anyways, we'll get into it. And excuse me if I have like a sudden tick, because I've been using this, women would know this vitamin C serum, and I have really sensitive skin, so I can't do a lot of the products that most women use, because my skin is super sensitive. But I used it and it's got like fragrance in it, and now it's like I feel like I need to just scratch my face. It's itching really bad. I probably won't be able to use it anymore. I need something that's fragrance free, something that's super good for sensitive skin. So if any of you ladies use a vitamin C serum that is for sensitive skin, because it's like, and I feel like every once in a while, like like my forehead, I want to itch it. So if that happens, just bear with me on this, okay? You'll know what's going on. So yes, I've had lots of messages, lots of really not nice things said about me this week, because I posted a it was like a cartoon of somebody going Trump is in the Epstein Files. He's mentioned in the Epstein Files. Yes, he's mentioned over 1,000 times. So are a lot of other people. I mean, God is mentioned in the Epstein Files. What you have to do here is you have to separate what is said and then what has been corroborated, right? You can say anything, right? Anything can be said, but that doesn't make it true. And I'm not here to defend him either. Listen, if Trump did do something, then he should be brought to justice. I'm not opposed to that. But at the same time, from what I've read, a lot of the claims, really sick stuff, that he did certain stuff to children, measured things, it was just what? I read a lot of it, felt like I needed to take a shower afterwards, and pray for this nation, this world. And we're going to talk about that stuff too. And a lot of these claims came in once Trump announced himself to be running for president as a Republican. Now, let's remember, This happened years ago, supposedly happened years ago in the 90s or whatever, early 2000s, but nobody said anything. Nobody called these tip lines. Nobody made these claims. Nobody said it, like nothing. And then suddenly all these claims start coming in, these calls start coming in after he announces that he's running for president as a Republican. That gives me pause. Also, the fact that it is Trump's DOJ that has released this stuff. Yes, there's been a battle, and yes, the PR around it was just absolutely horrible. Let's be honest. Like that one part where they had the influencers come to the White House and they're walking around with these binders, like they've got like that was just the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen. The rollout has been bad. The battle to get it out has been bad. Does that give you questions on things? Yeah, I've got questions on things. But at the same time, I know that Trump's DOJ they signed this thing into law, right? And he signed it. He could have been like, oh, I'm going to veto it. We're not going to release the files. But it happened. And now they're here and now they're out. And now people are trying to find every single thing they can. If you're mentioned in it, suddenly you're guilty. And listen, there are some people in these files that I'm like, I know that they did. So I know. But I can't, like, we have to go on the evidence. We have to go on facts. We have to go on whether this can be verified. And a lot of the people that were followed up on these claims that they made of Trump, they didn't follow up. There was follow up, but then nothing was like, oh, this is just a fluke. This is just a fakie. This is unsubstantiated. This is just hearsay, what this person is saying. There was no way to verify that this happened. Others were given recommended psych evaluations. So what do we do with that? I don't know, right? I don't know. What I would say is we live in a country where you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And if there is guilt there, then I would hope for anyone in those files, if there is corroborated evidence and facts that could be presented and you can get an indictment and you can bring a case and have a trial and get a conviction, go for it. But that's not like, from what I've read and what I've seen, and then the follow-ups, I'm like, okay, that's not, and I'm never going to go light on anyone that's harmed children. I'm just not going to do that. Okay. That goes against everything I stand for. But I also believe that if you don't have evidence, if you don't have facts, if you can't corroborate stories, if you have unsubstantiated claims, then that's what we're looking at, right? I can't go off of feelings or what, somebody's said. We can't do that. We have to go off the facts. That's just what we're going to do. But this all reaffirms to me, like what I've known for years, that this is a spiritual battle we're in, that it really is good versus evil. And there's no like Republicans, Democrats, like there's evil people and they can be Republicans. There's evil people and they can be Democrats. And we live in a fallen world that is definitely satanic in so many different ways. And it just reminded me of this battle that we've been in. It's been a battle since the beginning, you guys. This isn't new. This isn't suddenly like the elite, the rich rulers of the world, the top globalist echelon, like they suddenly decided to participate in Satanism. Like this has been going on. You get in the Bible, right? You get in the Bible and you start reading Judges, you read Kings, and you've got all sorts of pagan worship. You've got all sorts of sacrifices taking place to various gods, Baal, Moloch, Ishtar. You've got all sorts of stuff like that happening. It's mentioned multiple times in the Bible. It's seen multiple times in the Bible. God absolutely detests it. He can see it. He does see it. Okay. It's nothing is new under the sun and nothing is missed by God. And there's this part of me that you see these people that these sick people that think that they've really gotten away with something, right? They really think that they're gonna really pull one out and get away with it all, right? And they're not. I will tell you they're not. I guarantee you that when all is said and done, and we might not see this happen on this side of eternity, but these people that have committed evil acts, especially against children, will have an eternal punishment. It's not like a 1 life sentence, 2 life sentences. I'm talking eternity. Eternity. An eternal separation from everything that is good. An eternal punishment. And I remember being really frustrated. And I told my supporters this the other day, being really frustrated when I was watching all this stuff going on with the spying of the Trump campaign and the abuse of power that we saw within our own intelligence agencies back in like 2016. They were spying on Trump. They were using FISA warrants to spy on his campaign, which is a complete it's a complete violation of our Constitution, the individual right, and a violation of the Fourth Amendment. But they were doing it. And then not just that, but there's record of it. Like you can go back and look at the emails, read the emails of the FISA warrants, the spying, Lisa Page, Peter Strzok talking about how they've got him. They're gonna overturn this. They're gonna stop Trump. All of this stuff, and nothing happened to these people. Nothing. Hillary deleting 30,000 emails. Like all of this stuff that we see people in power do, and then there's like no consequence for it. And I remember being so incredibly frustrated with it and being like it is a 2-tier justice system. It is like, if I were to do that, I'd be in prison. I would be in prison. But if they do it, they get away with it. And there's this frustration of like, is there no justice? Is there no consequence? What is this? And then I really started to dive into the Bible, especially on eschatology, like end time events, like how it all gets wrapped up. And you start to really study the wrath of God, the bowls that are poured out, the trumpets, the seals that are poured out in Revelation on people that have done vile evil right in front of God, people that have done vile evil in secret, people that have thought that they've gotten away with evil. Their punishment is so severe that even for myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, like you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. And yet it is coming. And there is a rest that I find in that, because I don't know. I don't know if I'll see judgment here on this side of heaven. I would love to see everyone in these files that really are guilty to be thrown in prison for the rest of their life. I mean, my goodness. Yes, but I don't know if I'll see that. I don't know if I'll see that. And that doesn't mean that I'm complicit. That doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, well, no, I guess there's no consequence. No, we fight for justice. We fight that good conquers evil here on this earth. We're told to take dominion. We're told to speak the truth. We're told to shine a light in the darkness. But sometimes what I desire to have happen doesn't happen. And so I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with all of this. It just does reiterate, though, the evil wickedness that has been on this planet. It's still happening. I did want to read to you guys a couple verses, because I remember learning about the Bohemian Grove years and years ago. And it's basically this retreat for men that they go to in California, Northern California. And nobody really knows what happens there. Nobody knows. There's been rumors that there's child sacrifice that takes place. There's rumors that there's human sacrifice. There's rumors that all sorts of dark, evil, vile things. And it's always been like hearsay. It's always been like, I don't know, But this stuff that came out in the Epstein Files, it makes me believe all of that stuff, like all of it. And I'll tell you this, it was mentioned in the Epstein Files, the Bohemian Grove, Right here, you've got, gosh, my eyes, you guys, I'm getting older. I'm getting older. This is from Moritz Stagen or whoever to Jeffrey Epstein. And she says, great, will do. Keep me posted. Greetings from Singapore. On my way to California and try to understand about the people at the Bohemian Grove. Well, let's pull up some clips of the Bohemian Grove just to give you an idea that it's not necessarily hearsay, right? This is a place where actively things are happening, dark things are happening, and you can see it. You can see it with people that sell their souls, right? You can see it with people that have been walking in a good way, and then suddenly something happens to them. Suddenly something flips, and sometimes it can be a selling of your soul. Sometimes it can be demonic possession. I believe there's people on the right that have recently been demonically possessed. Some of them even mentioned being possessed by a demon or being attacked by demons. I believe that's very real. I believe it's if you don't have an exorcism, then you most likely still have that demon in you. And you see that in Hollywood. I lived in Hollywood for years, guys. I saw all sorts of vile stuff out there, stuff that is dark. And I'm sure we'll see some of that at the Super Bowl halftime. I won't be watching it, but a lot of these pop stars, Hollywood people, they sell their souls. It is a thing. I think a lot of politicians sell their souls. You see politicians that you know that are just fantastic, wonderful. Yes, I'm going there for my constituents. I'm going to do the right thing. And then suddenly something happens. Suddenly they're just not who they said they were. Suddenly, and fame can do that. You're not supposed to ever receive fame. I think a lot of these top globalist people that receive notoriety, fame, money, all of that, I believe that it does something to the soul. It corrupts the soul. We were never intended to be glorified. Humans were never intended to receive praise, to receive adoration. It is unhealthy. It corrupts you. It does something to you that changes you. In fact, I was just reading in Acts with Paul and Barnabas, right? And they're preaching to these people. And suddenly these people they worship pagan gods. Suddenly they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are Mercury. I can't say Mercury. I say it wrong. My husband he always gives me a hard time for it. Mercury. And I think it was Jupiter or something like that. And they began to praise them. And immediately Barnabas and Saul rent their clothes. They tore them. They said, no, we are not gods. We are humans just like you. And they renounced that stuff immediately. But when you have politicians that believe that suddenly they're pop stars, or influencers that think that they get a ton of notoriety, ton of fame, you get Hollywood, tons of fame. All of that stuff is extremely unhealthy, but it's also an open door. It's an open door for darkness to get in. And before you know it, you have these people that are doing vile things that they would never have done prior to receiving that fame. And here's the mention, and this is back, I think, in the like 1980s or 1990s. Here, watch this.
Defense Secretary Casper Weinberger canceled plans to go to Bohemian Grove in California this weekend because of the possibility of more flare-ups in the Lebanon crisis. But even without the Defense Secretary, the Bohemian Grove will not close down for lack of power. What is the Bohemian Grove? Well, it's a kind of summer camp for the powerful, an all-male gathering in great secrecy. More from Dennis Murphy.
George Shultz, Henry Kissinger, and West German Chancellor Schmidt arrived by car. The chairman of General Motors and U.S. Steel came in by private jet.
If you would look at the guest list over a period of 5 years, I don't think there would be anybody of any importance in America who was missing from that list.
Cabinet officers and captains of industry are going to summer camp. At Bohemian Grove, an all-male retreat secluded in the Redwood Forest 2 hours north of San Francisco. Outsiders are not invited. What's hidden away is a little bit of Boy Scout camp and a lot of fraternity hokum. There are rituals, bonfires, and the burning of effigies. The members live in lodges with names like Wolf and Caveman. Gerald Ford, Henry Kissinger, William French Smith, and George Shultz are bunkmates at Mandalay Camp. President Reagan's camp, Owl's Nest, is famous for its Eggs Benedict and Ramos Gin Fizz breakfast. But for the most part, stories about what happens in these redwoods are hard to come by. A campground statue reminds Bohemians to keep their mouths shut about the Grove.
I've heard a lot of good music there. I've met a lot of interesting people, and I look forward to listening to music again.
But there are employees who tell tales out of school.
You know, I mean, half of these guys, you know, from what I can tell, you know, stay loaded or stay bombed, you know, the entire time that they're there. I mean, they stagger into breakfast and stagger out from dinner. But at the same time, you know, they're talking business.
And sometimes those business talks send ripples far beyond the Grove. Sociology professor William Domhoff.
Reagan and Nixon talked at length in 1967 in the Grove to decide who would go first in Republican primaries.
While decision makers are cementing friendships, protesters outside the gate are keeping a vigil. To them, the Bohemian Grove is an all-white, all-male, undemocratic policy-making arm of the government. They want the Bohemians to go home. But summer camp won't end until next week. Dennis Murphy, NBC News, Monterey, California.
Yeah. So it's a thing. It's a thing. It really exists. Want to read some of these verses to you because this is what, like, there's that part of you, like you watch that and you're like, man, like they're deciding who's going to run primaries, like all of this stuff, like being done, like they're just running the world and you're just a participant. You're just a passenger in the car and you have no say whatsoever. And it's frustrating, right? It's frustrating and it's dark. It's dark. Here, I want to read this to you guys. 1 Kings 14:23. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. 2 Kings 17:10. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and every green tree. 2 Kings 17:16, and they left all the commandments of the Lord their God and made a grove and worshiped all the host of heaven and served Baal. 2 Kings 21:3, and he built again the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed, and he reared up altars for Baal and made a grove. 2 Chronicles 24:18, and they left the house of the Lord their God, their fathers, and served groves and idols, and wrath came upon Judah and Jerusalem for their trespass. So this is not new. This is not new. This has been going on for I think since the beginning, since the garden, since Eve took that fruit and rejected God and wanted to be like God. These people think they're gods. They think that they're gods. Here's another clip.
Bohemian Grove that I attend on time to time. The Easterners and the others have come there. But it is the most faggy goddamn thing you will ever imagine in San Francisco crowd that goes in there. It's just terrible.
That's Nixon talking about absolute depravity that takes place there. Pardon the cussing on that. It's dark. It's dark. It's real. It is satanic. And it is still happening. It's still happening. It's still happening. There's still powerful elites participating in this stuff. And this just reaffirms, don't put your hope in man. Don't put your hope, your faith, your identity, thinking that any human is infallible, because they're not. They're not. They will let you down. People that you probably even like. Who knows? So you don't put your adoration in humans whatsoever, and they will be brought to justice. They might think that they're untouchable. They might think that they will. And there is peace for me in that, knowing that they will be brought to justice. They will have eternal judgment. That's not just in this lifetime, but for all of eternity. So it's almost like a Masonic fraternity, only bigger. Yes, totally. Alex Jones covered this. Yes, he did, Peggy. You can actually find, it was several years ago. Alex Jones actually did undercover footage, and there were burnings and sacrifices taking place. Is dark stuff, you guys. Other dark stuff found in these files. I don't want to depress you, but this really, I think it upsets a lot of the people on the left, since they're very pro transing children. But it was recently released, and this is just so incredibly disturbing, that Epstein was in communication with a doctor at Harvard, and they were talking about basically men that are attracted to children and the benefits. There's less guilt basically in transing the child. So let's say it's a boy, you trans the child to a girl. That way you're not also attracted to the same sex. That's in the files. It's extremely dark. It's extremely disturbing. I do have it up on my page. You can find it. It was a couple days ago. But they basically talk about their attraction to children, the benefits of transing children. It's just so evil, right? It's so evil. But a piece of good news for you guys. Recently, this last week, although I was heavily censored, I mean, I'm talking censored, demonetized, not allowed to, because I've always spoken. I do speak up. No child should be harmed. And I feel, and I do believe wholeheartedly that any kind of mutilation of a child is evil. And I think the whole transitioning, the whole doctors trying to profit off of transing children, I think there's monetary value in that. That's why they do it. That's why the medical community, they found out hey, we can make a ton of money, and then we can have them constantly taking these medications to keep them in this state. And this is a huge moneymaker for us. Yes. But also you have people like Jeffrey Epstein. You have the people like Jeffrey Epstein that are like, yeah, let's trans the children because they're attracted to children. All right. So, but this week, this was announced, which is huge news. This is the Washington Post broke this. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons has recommended against gender transition surgeries for youth, becoming the first major medical association in the U.S. to narrow its guidance on pediatric gender care. Praise God for that. Finally. And my heart goes out to every single child that fell victim to this, that fell prey to this. We will look back on this time. I believe that we'll look back on this time and it'll be like, what were you doing to children? What was going on? What? Irreversible surgeries done to children that struggled with their identity. Irreversible surgeries. I mean, when I was growing up, if you were like, yeah, you were a tomboy, you hung out with the guys, you wanted to play ball, those were the tomboys. It wasn't like, okay, now we need to chop this off. We need to chop off that. We need to do this. We need to mutilate your body so that you, and there's never peace in that. There's never peace. You will never find peace in that. You'll find peace in the Word of God. I mean, nothing is new. You want to know about the Bohemian Grove? You want to know about idol worship? You don't want to know about sacrifices in the Bible? Totally talked about in the Bible. You want to talk about your identity and who you are and whose you are? It's all in the Bible. You want to have mental stability? It's in the Bible. You want to know what's coming? In the Bible. I mean, it's it's all there. Because you know why it's all there? Because we serve a God that is outside of time. He's all-knowing. He's all-powerful. He's sovereign. He can see the beginning just like he can see the end. So nothing is, it's all there. It's all Holy Spirit inspired, packed into the scriptures, and everything you want to know is in the Bible. Also, some stuff mentioned. This kind of disrupts and I have a ton of people on here that hate Israel. I mean, they really believe that Israel is the pedophile ring. They believe that Jeffrey Epstein was Mossad and he ran the circuit and he was doing all this, and it was all because of Israel. And if Israel was just taken out, then all the world's problems would go away. Guess what? That's also in the Bible. Like, that belief, all of that is not new. It's all in here. And it doesn't work out for the people that think that way. Read Zechariah 14. It doesn't go well for these people. But, stay ignorant. Stay ignorant. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, because you don't know what's in there. You will fall trap to this. You will fall bait to this. You will take the bait. You'll eat it. You'll think you're being enlightened. You'll think you're knowing new things. You're not. You're not. You're actually being deceived. It came out that there was a lot of correspondence between Epstein and working with Russia, him hating Netanyahu, which is like, what? No, because a lot of people on the woke right, crazy woke right, they're all like, so like Jews hatred, Israel hatred. Like, I just don't even, don't claim to be a Christian at all and have hate. Like, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you're saying. If you have any hate in your heart for a specific person, a group of people, or a country, then you're not walking in the fruits of the Spirit. And then I will know you by your fruit. So you're fake. You're phony. And they're pushing hate. Lots of Jew hate. Lots of hate. Hate. And then I get the people on here. Genocide. Well, whatever the genocide is, I don't. First of all, I don't think the numbers that have come out on Gaza are correct at all, because you have literally like Hamas reporting the numbers. But I don't support the mass killing of innocent people either. Like, I don't. But at least I'm consistent, right? Like, attacking on October 7th, wrong. Killing innocent people, wrong. War, wrong. Not a fan of war. Don't want war. There will be no wars once Jesus returns. Well, there will be a final war and a final battle, but my goodness, like, be consistent. You stand up for children. You don't want children to be violated and hurt in the Epstein Files. Then be against transgender surgeries that harm innocent children. Be against babies in the womb being brutally mutilated and dismembered. I mean, be consistent. Anyways, so Epstein hates Netanyahu. Well, that blows the narrative for a lot of people out there. They're like, that's not, no. Yeah, he does. And he backed Netanyahu's main opponent. Was it Ehud or whatever he's, Barak? And there's all sorts of email correspondence about the two of them trying to take out Netanyahu and how much they hated Netanyahu. Also, Jeffrey Epstein was friends with anti-Semites, Roger Waters and Noam Chomsky. Hung out with those guys. They're blatant anti-Semites. Conspired with leftist former prime minister to dilute the Jewish population by mass immigration. Also, there's a lot of emails out that have recently dropped. I shared it on my X page. A guy did a deep dive on Epstein's affinity for Islam. So look into that. Okay. There's a lot there. So yeah, and more coming out. I'm sure there'll be more and more as we continue on, more and more of this stuff coming out. So, let's see here. I'm reading your comments. Some of them are friendly, some of them are not. You know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna get haters for saying what I say, and that's fine. I'm not here for a popularity contest. Okay, what else is going on? The SAVE Act. This was actually passed in the House last year, and now it's been stalled in the Senate. And basically, what the SAVE Act is, and this is why we have to get this thing passed, is because it asks for voter ID to vote. You need to say, hey, yeah, this is who I am. This is me. This is my face. This is my name. I'm going to go vote. You would think that everyone would be in favor of this. Oh, everyone is actually. Everyone except the Democrat Party. They are not in favor. You even talk about to various Americans with various different ethnic backgrounds, cultures, all of that. They all believe in voter ID. They're like, yeah, you should have an ID to vote. But the Democrats don't want this. Why? Because it allows for fraud. It allows for cheating. In fact, a recent poll just came out stating how many Americans want this. Here you go.
Look here, favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it, 82% of Latino, 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this. Voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
So something of a non.
Yeah,
take a look here. Favorite photo ID to vote.
This is like, come on, and yet you got the Dems like no, because they know that it's over. If you lock it down with voter ID, it's much more difficult to cheat. It's much more difficult to then have all these mass ballot drops, all of this stuff. So yes, we need this. Call your senator, push for this thing to be passed. There's the debate whether they overturn the filibuster and just plow through and just don't even take the Democrats. There's a back and forth on that. But the question is, if you do that, then, you've set a precedent for removing the filibuster. And then if you do that, then the left is going to do that. But then there's this part of me that's like, yeah, okay. So like, whatever, we have to secure our elections. That's where I'm at this. And we have to do that quickly. We've got the presidency, the Senate, and the House right now. We need to get as much done as we can before these midterms. So yes. I saw this viral video. I thought it was funny because it gives a good, it just portrays like, it actually is pretty racist, I think, to be like, they don't know, but they don't know. Those people, they don't know how to get a photo ID. Like they're incapable of it. Like it comes across like really bad. Watch this, guys.
Usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? You carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know what?
Okay. You guys get the idea. That's offensive, right? To just blanket and say that these people don't know how to do it, but we do. So that is racist. Okay. Yeah. We need voter ID. And you would think that every single Democrat, every single person would be in support of having voter ID because they want secure elections. Like, don't you want to know that our elections are secure? Don't you want to know that the person who says that they are who they are is who they are? I mean, why wouldn't you want that? And I think it's all completely obvious on why the Democrats are holding this up and refusing to back this bill that simply says, hey, show your ID to vote. It's pretty simple. So we just need to put more pressure on our senators and watch how this unfolds, because we got to get this done. We do need to get this done before midterms. What else? Quick run through. Yeah, the search for Nancy Guthrie is still underway. I am so just bewildered and disturbed by this entire story. I don't think maybe something has developed since I got on here, but what are we, day 6 or day 7 of nothing? An 84-year-old woman goes missing in her home. It's really, really bizarre. And and whoever has her is refusing to show proof of life. They want proof of life. It's not being given. I just can't with this whole thing. And I'm just praying to God that this woman is alive and that it works out for the good here, because it's kind of a story that I've just been following around on the side. And it's like, none of it makes sense to me. None of it at all. So if anything does develop, I'm sure I'll post something on it, but nothing there. But that is a big story this week. And Savannah Guthrie, I mean, she normally does the Olympics, right? And she's not even doing that because, I mean, you wouldn't be able to, but because of this entire thing. So just pray for them, pray for their family, pray for a positive outcome on all of this. The Olympics do start. I think we have opening ceremonies. I'm always worried to watch opening ceremonies after what was it, the last Olympics, where they just did a total, it just was like a mockery of the Last Supper. So there's this part of me that's like, I don't even know if I want to watch the opening ceremonies, because it could ruin the whole thing for me. It could ruin it. It's just kind of how I am with stuff. Because then I'm like, okay, I didn't see the opening ceremonies. Now I can just watch the events. And I just want to watch the events. I'm not a big opening ceremony person. But when they try to push woke garbage, junk, weird stuff, I'm like, now you've ruined it for me. So hoping that doesn't happen, hoping I don't wake up tomorrow with all of, the news of how woke the ceremonies were. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully they're cool and they're great, and we can just move on and watch the events. So that's happening. Iran is still, I believe last time I read, Iran is still they're refusing now any kind of negotiations with disarming their nuclear program. And I can't say nuclear either, you guys. Nuclear. Is that correct? Nuclear and mercury for me. There's something with I don't know. I bet you some voice coach or dialect coach could tell me what it is with those, and tornado. I say tornado. I say it wrong. Anyways, okay. So we're following that right now. I know we've got some big ships over there. And I feel like at any point something's going to happen with Iran. I'm just waiting to see here. The regime is very weak over there right now. I believe that this would be the opportunity to see a change happen. Not that I want America all up and involved. I'm not a big let's get involved person, but I also know that a nuclear armed Iran is bad for the world, right? It's not just bad for America, it's bad for the world. So we'll be watching that, seeing if anything develops there. Just keep that in mind. That's also taking place right now. Potential DHS shutdown looms. Congress is racing against a deadline. I think it's now February 13th to fund the Department of Homeland Security after Republican leaders rejected the Democrats' demands for changes to immigration enforcement practices. Usually they work it out here. What do we got? We're all about a week out from that possibly happening. Let's see here. I think that, Trump RX. The Trump administration has launched Trump RX. It's a discount drug website. President Trump rolled out a new initiative for lower cost pharmaceuticals via dedicated platforms, aiming to impact the industry and provide consumer savings. That's fantastic. Let's see. That's a wrap. That's about it. That's what I got so far. What else did I mention? I also often will go to my Facebook page and just see if oh yeah. And I got to mention, the fallout. We'll close it with this, you guys. The fallout with Billie Eilish or Eilish. Is it Eilish? Eyelash. Saying, that no one is illegal if they're on stolen land. We watched that fallout, and now, it needs to happen, right? It needs to happen because I'm just done with celebrities saying dumb stuff, and it just seems like it just kind of is glazed over. No, like she got some backlash, and as she should, okay? Because if you're saying that no one is illegal that's on stolen land, that like nothing is nothing, that nothing belongs to anyone, and at all, like nothing is nothing, okay? And you can't like, no, that's not true. It's conquered land, actually. And land has been conquered over and over and over and over and over again throughout time. And it will continue, most likely. We get a little arrogant here with the world we're living in right now, but you don't know what 100 years, 200, 300 years from now looks like, and whether these countries are still in play or being run by the same people, or even in Europe, there was massive change that took place with lines and countries and all of that just in the last 100 years. So it was just such a dumb thing to say, but it was funny because I think some law firm out there was like, hey, we'll evict you. If you really believe that you're living on that, because she's living on stolen land. So I did put out a satiric video this week. It's super short, but here you go.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
2 days later.
So just straight back. Just back it up straight. Just straight. Oh, hey, Billy. Thank you for opening your door. I am a representative for the Gabrielle and Otama tribe. And we saw your Grammy speech, and it was beautiful. Tearjerker. Couldn't agree more. No one is illegal if they're on stolen land. That's why the tribe has agreed to give you about 24 to 48 hours to remove yourself from this property. We've got a moving truck here. Just straight back, guys, straight back. Here, they'll help you 24, 48. I mean, we could extend it a little bit longer. It depends on how fast you can move, okay? Let's go. Let's make this happen, okay? Let's go. Come on, Billy. Let's go. Come on, Billy. Let's go. Let's move it out. Move it out, Billy. So, yes. That's just where I stand on that stuff. My goodness. Like, just this is the thing. And I lived out there. I lived in Hollywood. I did the whole scene. I was in the Screen Actors Guild, actually. People don't want your personal political opinions when you're performing. Really, it really ruins it. It does ruin it. Like, if you're a far leftist actress, like, just don't, like, you don't have to weigh in. Just become the role, do the role, get the Oscar. Like, you don't have to weigh in on the state of the world. Like, it's not, people go, this is what's gone wrong with all of this. People go to the movies or they listen to music to escape what's going on. Like, they do it because they don't want to hear about Iran. They don't want to hear about, whether we're taking Greenland or not. They want to get away from all that. That's why they go to watch movies. That's why we go. That's why we listen to music. We go to escape it, to actually watch something and be fully entertained and forget about all of the craziness of this world. And for some reason, actors and actresses have decided now, yeah, I'm going to weigh in on all this stuff. And you don't need to do that. Now, I'm fine if you share your faith, because I believe that we should proclaim our faith as Christians all the time, every chance you get. But as far as like weighing in politically, just entertain. Like that would be my recommendation to all of them. But what do I know? Anyways, you guys, that's a wrap. I'm sure I missed some stuff because there's a lot going on out there, but that's the main gist of it, of what's going on. And we'll see. I'm sure a lot will unfold in the next 24 hours. That's just how the news cycle works. But I'm thankful for you all. I really am blessed to have you guys share, like my videos, support. I have a Patreon page. I have subscribers on Facebook that support. I have people on X as well that subscribe and support. And they just basically support. Like it's just, hey, keep going. That's basically what keeps me going. So I'm independent in every way. I often get accused of taking money from a country, or no, I'm not. It's nothing. It's just my supporters. So I appreciate you all. I'm thankful for you guys, and have a blessed weekend. Love the people in front of you. All right. Talk soon. Bye, guys.